What do you wanna write today? What do you wanna say? Are you happy or are you blue? Maybe green and yellow too. No matter who you are, there's so many words in your heart. So grab a pen and paper, let's start.
Oh, hey everyone. I'm sorry, I was just reading a recipe. If you remember from our rainy day daydream together, a recipe is a set of instructions. It tells us how to make something, and usually that something is food. Right now, I'm looking up how to make dough. You'd like to make some with me? Sure. I think it'd be really cool to do that all together. We'll need to go into my kitchen, but right now, I'm standing in front of my purple bookshelf. You can see it's full of books and has a sign too. LWA stands for Let's Write About, and today, let's write about food. Next to my bookshelf, you can see a purple and orange heart painting and a painting with some green cacti in it. And if this is our first time meeting, hi, I'm Donnie. I'm a white man with a beard, brown hair, which today isn't as curly as it usually is. And I'm wearing blue glasses, my blue poet beanie, a blue cardigan sweater, and a light blue grayish shirt. I'm all blue today. And with us is my friend Miriam. She's down in the bottom corner. Hi Miriam.
Hi Donnie.
Miriam is a white lady with short brown gray hair. You're going to see her moving her hands a lot and using a lot of facial expression. That's because Miriam is an interpreter. She's going to be taking the words I'm saying and translating them into American Sign Language, or ASL. Now, I'm going to put my book back on my bookshelf. And before we go into the kitchen, I think it's important if we say hello. I have a little song I like to sing to welcome everyone and get us all together. It goes, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We're glad you came today. That's it. We'll sing hello to me, Donnie. Hello to Miriam, and then hello to you. And when we sing hello to you, we'll sing hello everybody, so we can sing to you and all the friends watching. Oh, and before I forget, we're also just in my apartment in New York City. So you might hear some background noise or noise from outside, and you also might hear my heat come on, sounding like a shh. Does your heat make a noise too? Yeah, if you have radiators, it might make a shh sound. So if you hear any of that, don't let it distract you from singing. Alright, ready? We'll sing all together in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Donnie. Hello, Donnie. Hello, Donnie. We're glad you came today. It's Miriam. Hello, Miriam. Hello, Miriam. Hello, Miriam. We're glad you came today. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We're glad you came today. All right. Beautiful singing, everyone. Come on, let's go meet in the kitchen. Welcome into the kitchen, everyone. You can see my wall painted in a light green or mint color all around me. On the right are my spice racks. I have 3 shelves of spices, and each bottle of spice has its own scent and flavor, and it makes cooking really fun, and the things I cook, even more delicious. And then here on the right too, I have my apron. My apron is red and white with little squares in a pattern called a checkered pattern. Here, let me hold it up so you can see. See those red and white squares? They look a little bit like a checkerboard. It's called a checkered pattern. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put my apron on. It looks like Miriam is putting hers on too. Do you have something you want to get changed into? Maybe some clothes you don't mind getting messy, or maybe you have an apron you can wear. Cooking and baking and, well, especially making dough can get pretty messy sometimes. Alright, I have my apron on and I'm ready to go. It looks like Miriam is ready to go. Are you all set? Perfect. Our clothes are gonna stay nice and clean. Now, I was setting up before you got here, so I have almost everything I need. But I was having trouble finding my flour. Will you help me look for it? I keep my white flour in a tall glass jar. In front of us, I see 3 different things. On the left is a small jar with rainbow sprinkles. In the middle is a tall jar with something white in it. And on the right is a medium height jar with clumpy brown sugar. Which one do you think is the flour? The middle one? Yeah, I think you're right. That's my flour. Thanks so much for helping me. So before we get started, I have my apron on to keep my clothes nice and clean. But I'm also going to roll up my sleeves. And if you're wearing anything with long sleeves, you might want to do the same. So the first thing we have to do is add 2 cups of flour. No, not like cups you drink out of. Measuring cups. Here, let me show you. This black metal scoop that looks a little bit like a cross between a spoon and a bucket is called a measuring cup. And they come in different sizes too. So this is 1 whole cup. And this little one is 1/4 of a cup, which means 4 of these little ones make 1 big one. The 1/4 of a cup is called a fraction. And fractions are something that took me a really long time to learn. Here, I have an idea. I'm going to use this black cutting board with a little bit of flour and see if I can show you what I mean by fractions and 1/4. So looking down at my counter, you can see a black cutting board and my flour jar. I'm going to take a little flour and make a big circle. First, I'm just sprinkling it. Now I'm going to trace it with my fingers. So we have our empty white circle on the black cutting board. I'm going to add some flour going down the middle from top to bottom. I'm going to add another line of flour going across the middle from left to right. So these 2 lines aren't exactly even, but they help us see all 1, 2, 3, 4/4 of our circle. Now if I take a little flour and color in this top left one, I'll have colored in 1/4 of this circle. If I take a little more flour and color in the bottom right, or bottom left, excuse me, I'll have colored in 1/2 or 1/2 of the circle. Now I'll color in the bottom right. And what I do, I've colored in 1, 2, 3/4 of this flower circle. And finally, I'm going to color in that top right. And with that colored in, I've colored all 1, 2, 3, 4/4 of the circle, making one whole circle. I'm going to pick up my big jar of flour and my 1 cup measuring cup. To get started with our dough, we're going to need to use 2 cups of flour. So we're going to fill up this big guy 2 times. And if you need to adapt, there's a recipe down in the show notes for oobleck, which is made with cornstarch. And instead of 2 cups flour, you're going to use 2 cups cornstarch. Now, here we go. I'm gonna well, it looks like my 1 cup isn't gonna fit. You know, sometimes when a plan I have doesn't go just right, it helps me to take a little break. So I'm going to put this flour down, and I think I'm just going to move a little bit. Start rolling my neck, maybe taking a deep breath, and then I'll roll the other way. Man, it's really frustrating when things don't work. I had this all planned out. You know what? I just need a little more time away from it. I'm gonna start twisting back and forth. You know what? I just had an idea. Our big jar of flour has a mouth that's too small for the 1 cup, but the 1/4 cup that we learned about, that'll work. Now, if you remember, 4 of these make 1 big cup. So we need 2 cups, which means, we need to scoop our 4th cup into the flour 8 times. Will you help me count? We're looking down on my counter where I have my silver mixing bowl, my jar of flour, and I'm holding my black 1/4 or 1/4 cup. Ready? Let's count all together up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 cup. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we need 1 cup of water. Yeah, so we're going to do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now we have 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of water. Now that we have our water and flour, we have to mix. And when I mix, I sing a song to help keep me on rhythm and keep me focused on what I'm doing. It goes like this. We're gonna mix, mix, mix the dough. Mix, mix, mix the dough. Mix, mix, mix the dough, mix, 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 mix. Ready to try it with me? We're gonna mix, mix, mix the dough, mix, mix, mix the dough, mix, mix, mix the dough, mix, 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 mix. Great work mixing, everybody. And you know the dough? It felt soft and sticky, and also pretty thick all at the same time. It also had a really interesting smell. Did you not smell yours? Here, let's try it together. I have my big silver mixing bowl, and I'm gonna just give it a smell. I'm not sure how I would describe it. Do you have any words to describe it? Those are some good words, some good descriptions. To me, it's a little less sweet, but it also kind of smells like cookie dough, which they both have flour in them, so I guess that makes sense. And it actually makes me think of the cookies my dad makes for the holidays. You know, this year, I wasn't able to go visit my parents. Normally every year for the holidays, I travel down to see them. It sometimes takes me a really long time. I see them, my brother, my grandma, my uncle. And every year, my dad bakes these delicious butter cookies. But this year is different. Maybe it was different for you too. Maybe you didn't get to see some of the people you really love. If that happened, I'm sorry. I really love my parents and my family, and not seeing them this year was hard. But one cool thing that happened is I got to bake the cookies for the first time. Normally I just let my dad do the baking and I do all the eating and taste testing, you know, the really important stuff. But this year, he videoed in with me. I had my phone turned kind of like selfie mode, and he helped teach me the recipe. And it's an old family recipe. His mom taught him, and now he's teaching me. So this year, I did all the baking myself. And the cookies tasted really good. They looked a little bit different. Yeah, mine turned out much bigger than they should have been. But that's okay. It's an experiment. And part of what makes cooking and baking fun is experimenting and messing up and trying again. It was a really fun time. And smelling the cookies in the oven and the cookie dough as I was mixing it made me feel closer to my family, even though we were just over video. It was really nice. Thank you for letting me share that. It felt really nice to say that big feeling out loud. And sometimes that's a scary thing to do. But knowing that you were here listening helped me and made me feel safe to say that. So thank you for listening. Now, thinking about that smell and thinking about that memory, it's making me think about a poem. In fact, I have a pretty good idea for a poem. Let me make sure it doesn't get out from underneath my poet beanie. How about this? I'm gonna finish cleaning up, you finish cleaning up too, then get a notebook and come meet me at the table. We're looking at my wooden table, and on it, you can see my notebook, which is opened to 2 lined pages on the left and the right. You can also see my hands, and I'm holding a gray pen. Now my idea for this poem came from a memory. So, I'm going to start it off with I remember. And then I'm going to explain the scene, or really the setting, that I remember. I'm using the word our here because even though it's my memory, it's a memory I have of my dad and I together. In fact, to help us remember who I'm talking about in this poem, I'm going to go ahead and give it a title. I'll call it Sundays with Dad. So my setting for the memory is the deck outside our apartment. And then I explain it a little more. Because in this memory, it's when my dad and I lived in an apartment that had an outdoor walkway. So it wasn't really a deck, it was just a wooden walkway that connected all the different apartment units. So I say, well, it wasn't really a deck, but we marked an imaginary line from our door to the neighbors, our little space on the walkway. So I explain a little bit more of what's happening in my memory. I say we watched sunsets there on Sundays, while I drank a glass of chocolate milk I mixed myself. And now I'm going to share my top secret chocolate milk recipe with y'all. 1 big squeeze of syrup, 4 spoon stirs clockwise, 5 stirs counterclockwise. Don't forget, and there's a star here so you know it's important, leave a little on the spoon to lick. I love this phrase, Sunday scaries. It's that feeling you get when you know Sunday is about to end and soon Monday is coming. Sometimes poems and stories and even works of art that people draw and paint can be addressed like the way a letter can be addressed. So this thank you at the end of the poem is for my dad. And this poem is about a memory, but it's also kind of a thank you letter to him. So this is Sundays with Dad. I remember the deck outside our apartment. Well, it wasn't really a deck, but we marked an imaginary line from our door to the neighbors, our little space on the walkway. We watched sunsets there on Sundays while I drank a glass of chocolate milk I mixed myself. 1 big squeeze of syrup, 4 spoon stirs clockwise, 5 stirs counterclockwise. Don't forget, leave a little on the spoon to lick. There was football on, homework, chores, and the regular Sunday scaries. But we'd watch until night edged in. Thank you for never asking why, for just joining and being by my side. Thanks for listening to my poem. If you made anything, a story, a poem, a piece of art, and you want to send it in, you can get an adult's help and use the email in the show notes. Now, let's get ready to say goodbye. I'll meet you back at the Purple Bookshelf. Thank you all so much for baking and making dough with me today. I had a lot of fun. And thank you too for listening to my story and letting me share my poem. Sometimes, when we share the artwork or the writing we make, it feels like sharing a recipe or sharing food with someone. Like you've used all the ingredients you have to make something special just for them. And that's how it felt today. So thanks for listening. Now, cooking and baking can take a lot of patience. And the dough we made today is just the first part of a pretty long process. But I think I'm going to work on it a little bit more and maybe turn it into pizza for dinner tonight. I hope you do something yummy with your dough too. Right now, it's time for us to say goodbye though. And like when we sang hello, we'll sing goodbye to me, goodbye to Miriam, and then goodbye everybody. Say goodbye to you and all the friends who are watching today. So, all together let's sing goodbye, Donnie. Goodbye, Donnie. Goodbye, Donnie. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye, Miriam. Goodbye, Miriam. Goodbye, Miriam. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more episodes and give this video a like. Let's Write About is fiscally sponsored by Accessible Festivals, a 501c3 nonprofit organization committed to making recreation and leisure accessible to all abilities. And it's made possible by the support of viewers like you. Head to the GoFundMe link in the description and find out how you can support the show.